Let's go, Case.
Little postseason Delta Club, babe.
Oh, man.
And you know what stadium that's from.
Let's go, guy. I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
Ohtani
back.
Talk to now. We're back. Little bit of a layoff.
It's the offseason. That was our offseason.
It was our off season, but you know what? You also moved, so congratulations,
Thanks.
ladies. Look out if you haven't noticed yet. Our newest North Carolinian down there.
I did finally get a North Carolina driver's license, so went through that whole process at the DMV, have a North Carolina license plate for my car now, so I had to be a real adult and get all that stuff done, and
So
now we're here.
So when you go back to visit your parents in the Cuse,
Yeah.
the snow just all melts.
Yeah. I bring the warmth with me. That's right.
That's it.
Yeah, we actually had snow here in North Carolina, apparently for like the first time in like 3 years. Obviously, I haven't been here for 3 years, but I was told it was like the first time in 3 years. It was gone in like 2 hours. So
This is our B-roll, and we're back.
yeah, that's right.
This is the B-roll, and we're back, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Mound Visit. We are breaking down some of the crazy moves. Obviously, you know them already, but some of the crazy moves so far this offseason, talking baseball, talking life. We're happy to bring it to you here on another episode of Mound Visit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Mound Visit. I'm Casey Honigbaum, joined as always by my man, the 15-year MLB vet, the all-star closer, Mr. Jason Grilli, joining me all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we've got a special episode for you here today. Before we get into it, we want to remind you, subscribe to the podcast. If you'd like to watch us, you could subscribe for free on YouTube. If you'd like to listen to it, you could do that wherever you get your podcasts. We are a part of the Believe Podcast Network. Every show, every topic, everywhere. And this show is also brought to you by our friends over at Sweet Hand Sports Batting Gloves. Golf gloves, hats, whatever you need. Local Pittsburgh product over there in Grilli's neck of the woods, and they do a great job. You could use code MoundVisit10 to get 10% off your first order with Sweet Hand Sports. And I know Grilli's got an exciting announcement as well. I know it's been a little bit since we did an episode, but an exciting announcement. I mean, I guess you could say it's a sponsor, but it's kind of just an awesome thing you'd like to share, I know, because it's been in the works for a while, and we're excited to bring it to all of you guys.
Yeah, it's big stuff. Like I said, you know, book number 2's out. It's all about NIL. It's just NIL is the sexy word for everybody. For everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just student athletes. I mean, really, isn't everybody branding or trying to be an influencer? So I have it in the background. If you haven't ordered a copy,
there we go.
There it is.
Show that thing to the camera. Look at that art. Look at that bookwork.
It's a good bookwork. This is the soft cover, you know. But this is my bookmark. These are my bookmarks, dude. This is my little secret. I'd never throw out a baseball.
Oh.
Okay? You can't, if you love and respect the game, God bless. Here's your bookmarks, kids. This is a baseball.
Look at you.
All right? I don't want to give away my idea. My boy over at Baseball Scenes. I changed the walls here. I've been doing a little decorating, rearranging, because the walls, I didn't know where to put this stuff. I had somebody kind of help. I was inspired. I have to say, the mayor's office, our friends over there, Sean Casey. If you look at his backdrop, he's got all his paraphernalia from Pearl Jam to his career to his teammates. And I'm kind of doing the same. I still got to do one wall across the way, but the dirt that I think I've shown.
Absolutely.
It was kind of in my way for the chair. I was hitting it. It was over my shoulder. It was inappropriate. So the other side of the wall before you come into the Studio 39 here, the office, I have the Steve Grilli and Jason Grilli, Toronto Blue Jays. Detroit Tiger tie, father-son tie-in. So there's not many guys, you know, alphabetically the Grillis and the Griffeys were close.
That's right.
So it's nice to be tied next to some legendary father-sons. And be very few. But these are bookmarks. And please pick up a copy on Amazon. And if you don't know, now you know. Our friend Guy Fieri He sponsored it, endorsed it. Gary Sheffield, Lindsey Berra, Jim Cavalli, another fellow CBA Syracuse homegrown guy.
There you go.
If people don't know who Jim Cavalli is, look him up. He's actually trying to organize and get collective bargaining to happen, because I can see we could have a whole show just on NIL, what's happening. I mean, your boy Soto there, that it just
good
signed.
Segue. Yeah.
Yeah, great segue. I mean, this is going to sidebar and digress to a lot of the conversations we have. But, NIL is for everybody, and the endorsements like Ohtani's getting, this guy's probably going to be getting, we're going to get, choked out by Juan Soto because, whether he is or isn't the best baseball player, the money doesn't really indicate that. You could argue to say that money makes you the best player or considered the best.
Right.
I just think, your Mets are trying to come with it. 1986 they're trying to change it, and can you buy it? We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, good segue. And I mean, it goes without saying that it's something that I'm super pumped about. Obviously,
of course you are. That's Merry Christmas to you, buddy.
I couldn't ask for a better Christmas gift. Right? I don't even need anything anymore. I need nothing more.
Just a Mets baseball card with Juan Soto.
Juan Soto Mets baseball card, absolutely. Juan Soto Mets jersey, that's coming down the pipeline soon for sure. That'll be a purchase for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible, and I think aside from what you said, I mean, obviously, he's one of, if not the best hitters the best hitter in baseball. He's a top 5 player in the league. And a generational superstar talent like this doesn't hit the open market at this age a lot. So it was already, we knew it was going to be a historic contract. And I think the interesting thing is, I think going into the offseason where we're like, well, what's that number going to be? It's at least going to start with a 5, which is insane. And then all of a sudden you were like, well, it's probably going to be a 6. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, the Mets and Yankees are in a bidding war above 700. And then that was when it kind of, okay, well, who's going to go to 8 or whatever? And the Mets did. So
sorry, tech issues here. I got this.
Got your ring light.
The studio light is, I guess, what I need for our stocking stuff for this year.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Amazon, it's in the bucket. I don't know. It's fading out.
I was gonna say, I thought all the money that was going towards lighting your house went towards that Juan Soto.
Clark
Griswold.
Right. Christmas vacation. My lights just went out. Yeah,
Sorry, we
Merry
can still
Christmas.
See you. Yeah.
Right. And the snow, we finally are getting some here, but yeah, the winter meetings, they call it, hot stove and all this stuff, right? We're talking baseball in winter. It's just spring training. I remember just even as a player, right now you're sitting there going like the anxiety's ramping up about right after you'd shove that turkey leg down your throat, you're about to open a present. But, if you haven't started throwing, I pulled out a throwing program for my son and my nephew they're asking me, hey, Dad, Uncle Jay, what's the progress? What's the process here as they're getting older? I said, well, after Thanksgiving, I said you need to start getting some movement. 20, 25, 35 throws. Don't get crazy. Just keep it moving, and we can always add the weight, on and the reps on. So I can't believe we're here.
This is when it starts to ramp up. Yeah,
it's ramping up, and before you know it, it's going to be open a present, and then we're talking
day.
Valentine's Day, second week.
That's right.
Pitchers and catchers report. Cheer up, everybody.
Yeah.
If your off season wasn't short enough or long enough, it doesn't matter. It's always the same time, same place. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, the off season is essentially, you could say, for a lot of these free agents and things like that. It's just getting started. I know we were taking our holiday break, I guess, when there were a couple signings. That's right.
You moved, dude. That's a big thing. So excuse our fans.
I know,
we may not have an audience of 3 million because they would be so. You kept them on edge, but this guy took a great new life change. You're down in North Carolina, so
that's right.
No fault. We have things that come up, and we're back. We never went away.
Well, hey, you released a book. I moved, so it's a couple big.
Yeah, we've been busy.
That's right.
But you know what? It makes me think though. I want to rewind to. There's a lot of teams when you think about Juan Soto, where he goes, and just the way guys I always say go through the steps, right, of what a player wants to go through, these 5 steps.
Yeah, of course.
You want to get drafted. You want to make it to your big league debut. Then you want to be an everyday player.
Yeah.
You want to break the bank, get paid as much as possible, and then you want to win.
Yeah.
It's kind of that order. But I think about where Juan Soto started, and the Nationals, the talent that they had with just even Harper and him.
And Trey Turner.
And Trey Turner, yep.
Yeah.
So we start adding, rewind the clock.
Yeah.
And think about just the timing then, and you go to now, the development of just these star players.
Yeah.
And what if? I mean, could you imagine now the guy that you go, this guy is going to be unbelievable for us. I don't know if we're going to hang on to him, and now you're going to face him and see him.
It's unreal.
Right?
Yeah.
And these kids got to face these rookies and younger talent that comes up, has to sit there and face a player like that. I don't know how I'd feel as a rookie going like, please get yourself out. Give me some confidence. I just broke into the big leagues. But
Seriously.
I think the Mets had to do something to keep up with the Dodgers. I think this was kind of their answer to that. In short, they had to answer the call. And I know there's going to be some more moves made. They're doing some pitching for your Mets. Among other things, pitching is always a deal. Even the Dodgers themselves pick up Ian Snell.
Blake Snell?
Or Blake Snell.
Yeah.
I say Ian Snell.
You're good.
Blake Snell. I played with so many guys. Sorry. Against so many guys. But Blake, he, big gun, right?
Yeah.
Threw a no. Still got a lot of
2-time
left in
Cy
the
Young
arm.
Award winner. I mean, that almost got swept under the rug, that signing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right. Well, that's what I said. I don't think anything can top, the news of what
it's
the
hard
Mets
to
did.
Right.
It's like Buzzkill, because I remember I was watching, I think I caught a clip of Sean Casey laughing about, who were they talking about? Was it the Orioles? They were talking about moving center field in because they signed Sanchez.
That's right. Tyler O'Neill. Yeah.
They're like, this is our sign for the year. Like, no big deal. I don't have anything for you, but I'm happy to be on the show, because nobody cares about anything else than what's going on.
Right.
It's the big news.
Right. It's crazy. And it's funny. I know we're jumping around here, but just to kind of tie a bow on on the Juan Soto, so we can move on to some other stuff. I mean, we could talk about that signing in general just for a whole episode.
It's old news now. It's old news.
I know, and it's nuts because if you look, for me, obviously as a Mets fan, he's gonna, I think from the Mets perspective, this makes you it should make you a perennial contender. I talked about this when the Mets lost to the Dodgers. They lost to the Dodgers, but I had a lot of that. Even though we lost that series, it gave me a lot of optimism as a Mets fan, because you're thinking this is year one of David Stearns, who's widely regarded as one of the better GMs in the game, and it's year one of David Stearns. You have to believe that that's probably going to be one of the worst, probably the worst roster he ever has as a Mets GM. And year two, he's already bringing in Juan Soto. So it's already, I mean, having him and Lindor in that lineup with Mark Vientos who's coming together, Brandon Nimmo. I mean, that's just and
I love how pro Lindor is. I became a Lindor fan just watching him. Just in recent times, and just especially this playoffs. I mean, he was just so calm and cool and collective. I just was like, man, dude, he's figured it out. You almost sit there and go, he's figured it out. He slowed the game down.
Yep.
He had that big homer, the grand slam, and the big moment. That as a player, a former player, I was in awe of that. I was like, holy jeez, man, this guy is heartbeat at 72, maybe less. And now he's got Soto, who.
So I was just going to say,
pitcher, I'm like,
take some pressure off of him, even more pressure. I mean, it's like you said, he's already got. You could tell last year that the game slowed down for him, and he finally was playing. He knows the pressure of New York, but he embraced that last year. You could tell. Now he's got someone in Juan Soto who not only can help take some of that pressure off of him, but he also knows what that pressure is like in New York because he just did it. So it's one of those things that it's a perfect blend.
Do you need a hitting coach if you have those guys? Could you just get, or can they even afford one? Like, what do you do? Just like, hey, way to go, guys. Here's the balls. Take care.
Yeah, that's right.
You may put a ball on the tee. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Let them do what they do. Like,
let
what really? Just let them do the thing. There's guys like that, like Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay. Imagine having those two guys back in the day, the Phillies,
Yeah.
What did Rich Doobie was the pitcher? He goes, what do you say to them?
Wasn't Cole Hamels in that rotation
Cole
too?
Hamels, you rub the ball up. Here's another one.
Joe
you
Blanton.
Like that one?
Blanton was there too, friend of the pod. Yeah.
It's those situations you go, just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Don't tell the plumber how to plumb.
Right. Exactly.
If you're gonna be the barber, cut my hair. Just do your thing. Make me look, better than I do now.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen. The young guys are gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna do everything. Can I carry your bats?
Yeah.
Can I carry your bats, guys? I just want to be around
watch.
to kind of.
Yeah. Exactly. It's fantastic. I think of someone like Francisco Alvarez and Mark Vientos, young guys like that who we've got coming up. We're going to be able to
They're
going to
benefit from that. Like, how could they not?
Right.
You're silly if you don't ask questions. You're silly if you just don't the puppy dog and go, I'm just going to follow as much as I can until you kick me out and tell me, beat it, kid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bug you.
As they should. Well, I want to ask too and see what you think here, because there's a whole nother side of this Juan Soto signing, and that's from the Yankees side as well, because they were obviously the other team that ended up making a big offer. And the people who say that Soto chose the money, it's like it was $765 versus $760. Yeah, there was the extra year tacked on top. But
is that life changing?
At that point, it's not. He's not choosing money. He's choosing what he believes is a better directioned franchise or a better headed franchise, in his opinion. He believes that the Mets have a brighter future than the Yankees, and he played for the Yankees.
He played for the Yankees, so that's a big feel. That's a big deal, man. I mean, you got 1 and 1A. What an option! Like, do you take the Do you take the keys to the red Ferrari or the black one? I don't know which one.
And that's the crazy thing. As a Mets fan, thinking of us as a 1A or 1B is something that hasn't ever been the case until Steve Cohen has done what he's done and completely changed the direction of this franchise. But that was what I wanted to ask you is, what does this signing say about the Yankees and about the state of baseball in New York? Because the way that I see it, it signifies the Yankees are always going to be the Yankees because of their history. You can't take that away from them. You never can.
But there's a lot of pressure there. I think the stigma for a player is that, there's footage of John Steinbrenner talking to the organization, and he used to address them heavily every spring. I don't care. He'd call a team meeting if he was pissed off.
Yeah.
And the expectation to win there is sometimes overbearing, maybe. I don't know. Listen, I wish I was able to say that. My joke is always like, I got drafted by him out of high school. Yeah. I never played for him, but I did help them win a couple games.
There you go.
And I did beat him on one pitch, which was awesome.
There you go.
I got A-Rod to pop up.
No big deal.
No big deal. But, keeping the career alive, like Kevin Millar did with the documentary. Of
there you go.
2004. Get a Netflix deal, you can do whatever you want.
That's right. That's right.
I just lost my train of thought, man. Oh, so... the Yankees, they haven't won since, 2009?
09 was their last World Series win.
They've been coming up short, but, God, the game, what was the game where all the mishaps happened?
Oh, that was Game 5? Yeah,
Game 5.
Last game of the series. Yep.
Yeah, Game 5, the misplay, they now covered the base. Mm-hmm. Judge drops a ball he catches a million times.
Yeah.
Just like some of those things that stick with you. I feel that pain. I feel that for fans. I feel that more so for a player,
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there's guys I root for. I played with Garrett Cole. I played, I root for guys that I hope to see succeed. Because what other reason if my Blue Jays ain't in it, I'm not rooting for anybody.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. No, it's a good point. It's interesting though, because this whole, at least as long as I've been alive, Mets have always been the little brother. It's just how it is, But it's weird that maybe
there's a regime change here. Maybe there's something.
Well,
that's
what
there.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Is this just my, me being clouded as a Mets fan and just being on cloud nine because of this, or is there really? Because it feels, even in a year that the Yankees just went to the World Series, it feels like there's a significant shift in the guard in terms of which team is has got the juice right now, which team is. Because you can even tell watching the playoffs last year, that Mets team was so much fun to watch.
It was.
And it was.
LaGuardia Airport, if you see what's happening there, it's deemed now the #1 airport in the world. So that's 4 miles away from
Queens, baby.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at, like, what's changing. I don't know, man. Sometimes there's just that time where it's like everything gets resurrected.
Yeah. Steve Cohen. It's Steve Cohen.
It is. I mean, and you know, you look at there's franchises, like I said, the Pirates, 1979. We're going to be waiting probably just as long as the Cubs fans did. You know, we're going to be waiting. What was it? 86 years that the Red Sox had the curse.
It was like 108 or something like that. It was
the Cubs.
Yeah,
the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 86 years for the Red Sox, right?
Yep.
That documents it. So you talk about, and you guys are looking at the Mets.
Yeah, since 86. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's you know, it's not as long, right?
Yeah.
But
everything that franchise has been through since the Mets franchise that they've been through since then, I just think. To have, and especially going through, the Wilpon ownership regime, that was, for the limited success that they had, it was that, that regime spent like they were a small market team. And this is New York we're talking about.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why, the Mets have always been the little brother. Not only have they not been as good as the Yankees historically, but they haven't tried to act like they are a New York baseball team, and it seems like finally they are, and it's odd because it almost seems like for the Mets to outbid the Yankees for a free agent like this, it's unheard of. It's still hard for me to believe. So, there's just there isn't, and I think for Yankee fans, because this is how us as Mets fans have felt losing out on free agents our whole lives. You're a Pirates fan. You were a former Pirate. Even as a Blue Jays fan, the Blue Jays don't seem, the Blue Jays are kind of hit or miss with that sort of thing as well.
They spend money though. If they spend. Mm-hmm. They spend. But it's interesting to see, between free agents and trades and how it goes down the line, what these other teams are doing. Like, the Red Sox picking up that power lefty arm.
Yeah,
dude.
Crochet, absolutely.
Crochet is
teams
dominant.
Are starting to pivot. Yeah,
it's trying to see, and God, what a change! I'm sure of pace. That would be a nice change of pace for him. But he's going
thinking about all those poor White Sox prospects.
Whoa, boy! Right? I'd be like, shoot, but listen again. I go back to those 5 steps, right?
Yeah.
As a player, and you have to take your lumps, and you have to take. Hopefully put yourself in the position to be in a situation to succeed. Or if you're on the downside of your career, to get a long-term deal somewhere, that a team's like, hey, we need something. We need something here to kind of keep things going. Otherwise, we are going to be a complete embarrassment.
Yeah.
Right? If we don't do anything.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's where the Red Sox were, I think, right? That's another storied franchise, and that move actually went down today as we record this on Wednesday. But that was a surprising move, and I know it came on the heels a day earlier of the Yankees pivoting to giving a big contract to Max Fried a couple days after losing out on Soto, and it was kind of like the Red Sox going, all right, checkmate. You grab your lefty, we'll grab our lefty, because I know from all the reports that I saw, the Red Sox and the Yankees were kind of both in the running for Max Fried. I was going to ask you about that Fried deal in particular. Interesting to see I was interested to see the 8 years. He's going to be 38 now when that deal is over. I believe it was 8 years, 212 was that deal. And Fried's a fantastic pitcher. I'm glad he's out of the NL East. Because that guy can pitch. I was a little surprised at the length of the deal, but
yeah, good for him. This is a different market. I even had an old agent of mine text me. He goes, God bless. He goes, I wish I had an opportunity to represent you now, because the market of what players and what this opportunity to be a player, we see where it's gone, and we look at other sports overseas. I mean, what Major League Soccer players, European soccer players make, and it's up there, man. Like, this is nothing compared to. So it's just funny that it's finally hitting America, that these numbers and why these organizations, like I said, I hate
that gambling money, man.
Yeah, I hate to shift back to, talking about NIL stuff, which is really branding. Every team is trying to brand themselves as, hey, we're doing this, or we're making things go. Yeah. Even on the collegiate level, which is a side of something you could speak on. Yeah. I know that there's going to be a shift in what's happening. There's no more amateurism in sports. No. So college, I feel like companies are going to start buying out Penn State athletics. I think that if you're going to pay athletes, and you're going to pay athletes to win, that's what the name of the game is, and to make yourself the most competitive team. Yeah. I know that seems so crazy to say that now, but I'm going to make a bold statement. I feel like collective bargaining, which baseball has led the charge there, and everybody, if you're going to go own and be sports and have things kind of be parallel along the lines of what happens and why it happens and what winning organizations do. Yeah. What do you think major college Oregons of the world and what Deion Sanders is trying to do, and what the Mets are now trying to do? It's just you could slice this in so many different ways, man. Yeah. But that's what's happening, and I think that's what will happen. I just wish it would happen a little bit more to have competitive balance in our sport that we're talking about, baseball here, because my son even texts me, he's like, "Dad, you see what the Pirates are doing?" I'm like, it's not really news. I hate to say it's not really news. They're just like spitting dust, They're like, what scraps are we bringing here? And
now I didn't want to, not to pour salt on your wounds here, but now they're toying with trading either Jared Jones or Mitch Keller, which is, those are. You're building this three-headed monster of a pitching staff, and
their
why
pitching staff could take them places. Yeah. But are they going to have the offense? No, which puts pressure on guys to not. You give up a run, 2 runs, 3 runs, or or less in 6 innings, which used to be considered a quality start. Sure. Stat that doesn't seem to matter anymore. And you got these guys who are horses. Well, what's going to happen? Well, I said Skeens was going to be a Yankee. I'm thinking that he might be a Met, dude. He shifted, like you said, the shift. But it's sad to see because, everybody has that same hope that you've had with your team. Yeah. And you look at, like I said, how the trends are going and what players are available and who's going to do this most incredible, amazing thing to dig deep into pockets and go, we got to go for broke. It's like saying, I don't know what the biggest purchase you've bought before, because everybody has spent a lot of money for them.
The computer I'm recording this podcast on might be one. Yeah, I think
so.
That might be. Or my wisdom tooth surgery. It would have been one of the two. I don't know.
Yeah, do you still have that thing?
I got the teeth. They're somewhere. Yeah, I got them somewhere.
There you go. Impress all the people at your apartment building.
I don't know if that would do it.
that won't scare them off. They'll be like, what the hell is this?
The hell's wrong with this kid? Yeah.
Upstate New York. There it is. Again, dude, got me off track, bro.
I know that's on me. I brought up wisdom teeth. That screwed the whole thing.
Purchasing, big purchases, right? Whether it be a car or this unbelievable computer or whatever you're buying for a Christmas present this year. Yeah. Is really, if you go to the best computer or the best thing that's out there, and you sit there and you're going to make payments on it. Like I said, if $78,000 in at bat to see Juan Soto perform in the Mets uniform is worth it, then you'll pay for it, right? Yeah. You justify it. Yep. The computer you bought at the highest level that can do the thing that you said, I need this because, or I might need this because, you justify that extra $3 or $5. You're not going to really miss it, right?
Right.
So whatever Bitcoin or whatever stuff that's helping pay for the big purchase for anybody out there, whether it's Juan Soto or,
Yeah.
The ram that you needed.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's funny, and I think that's what I can't take credit for my grandparents helped pay for my wisdom tooth surgery, so I got to give them a shout out.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Grandma and Grandpa, for that.
Graham, you're the best.
They are the best.
It's all those brownies that got your cavities in that thing.
That's right. No, that was just the way they grew in. Thankfully, that one wasn't my fault, but
right.
But yeah. So no, I think that's what makes the situation with the Mets so interesting, and I think a little bit unique, because obviously I think you look at these, specifically the last 2 off seasons, and investments that teams have made in a player. You look at what the Dodgers did with Ohtani, and you think financially, like, that's something that it makes a lot of sense, because not only are you getting the player who might be the best player that we've ever seen play the game of baseball, but you're also getting the entire Japanese and Asian market that has followed this guy through his career, then with the Angels and now with the Dodgers. You're getting that whole stream of revenue too, and a whole new fan base that's going to come in to be Dodgers fans and want to watch Ohtani play and buy his merchandise, things like that. But I think also, while the same could be said for Soto and to an extent in Queens, I think what makes Steve Cohen so unique is he's a fan. And he's been so public about saying that, and he's been so public about saying he's not in
but he loves the game, man. There you go.
He's not, and that's the
Theo
thing.
Epstein. That's Theo Epstein's deal. Like, you look at these GMs. Buster Posey's now a GM at 37.
Sure.
I mean, not 10 years older than what Theo was. You look back, and these guys who are fans and love the sport and respect it, they're trying to win. Isn't that
exactly
the product?
that was exactly what
That's the integrity of the game. If you're going to sit there and go, hey, man, we're going to go play pickleball tonight. But if I'm just like, whatever, I don't even care to win. Do you want to play me? No.
Right.
No, if you're out there to go, I want to freaking dominate you and embarrass you so I have bragging rights, or you're buying a beer and pizza tonight.
Yeah. Right.
If I beat you, then something's on the line. What's on the line every year is that ego, that bragging rights.
The trophy.
That feeling. And the Dodgers have that crown. And I go back to when they were pouring that champagne. You hear me say it so many damn times, man. But it's still fresh in my mind. All those guys, especially Freddie Freeman, who, wow, by the way, what a series, well-deserved what he's accomplished. But they're all were like, dude, this was like a family. There was this feeling that they all said there was something, there was an undertow there that only they know. It's the feeling. When you're on a team that you feel like you're rowing and you're giving all your effort, but everybody's not in it the same way. Like I said, are you starting to take the 5 things and everybody's at different segments, and you feel that?
Yeah.
You feel that, because if this guy's like, well, I know I'm not going to be here. I'm just pitching for myself to get to the trade deadline from day one.
Yeah.
That's not a good feeling. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
you're absolutely right.
We got no shot to win this year, but I'm going to try to do this, or I'm trying to do X. What's the team goals? I remember many teams. You sit there and there's like, our goal is to win the World Series. You're looking around going like, yeah, I don't know if I feel that, what you're feeling, or seeing what you're seeing.
Sure.
And you look around the room and you wonder what goes through every player's head, because you all have to be on board.
Yeah.
You have to buy into what is the leaders are all saying, whether it be a good clubhouse guy. I think that, like you said, you hear it, and when that champagne's on there, and you see the champagne poured over the trophy, and the owner, and the GM, and the wives, and the girlfriends, and the families, they're all out there. It's one big sacrifice, one big all-in, we're in together. Yeah. And you start looking at these, piecemealing things, like a sign that I look at too, big for the San Francisco Giants, Will Adames.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big, stuff that I know about him. I love watching him as a player, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Very talented.
Very underrated signing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because again, comparatively, numbers, we're talking contracts.
Sure.
You go, if somebody signed for 7 years, $182 million, he's making $26 million a year. Mm-hmm. You're sitting there going like, oh wow, that's unbelievable. But when you get guys making 50 now, you're going, holy jeez, dude.
Well, no,
so there's such a big disparity in this game, and it's crazy how it's going to maybe level out some or maybe not. I don't know. What's average? It's
I don't know. I don't
know.
It's
crazy, dude.
It's gonna. I think, to be honest, I think it's gonna continue to have, it's gonna continue to have. It's gonna continue to go in the way we're seeing until something is done at the commissioner level, because I think you're going to continue to have these teams that refuse to spend money, take guys in just to salary dump and things like that, and develop talent and then trade them away, and develop talent and trade them away, and I don't see it getting better unless there's a way to enforce that. And I think, what I was getting at earlier when I was talking about Steve Cohen is, he truly embodies this thought that I have, where I believe it should be a privilege to own a professional sports franchise. There's only 30 major league teams. I know you got to have a lot of money to do it. You got to buy it. You got to run it, all that stuff. But
we had somebody take out a billboard here in Pittsburgh. That said, "Make Bob Nutting walk the plank," because people are so mad. They're so mad. But you know what? People continue to go to PNC Park. Why? I mean, visiting
beautiful
fans come here because it's like, wow, I got to see this, and it's not an expensive trip in city to come to, and it's very welcoming. I mean, the people of Pittsburgh. That's why I live here. But like I said, to your point, like, what is the point of doing anything? If I have a restaurant and my food sucks, no one's coming. No one's coming. So what you got to fix the I had a steak tonight at this premier steakhouse. I'm like, this wasn't good. I was like, I've never remembered a steak being not good. So I'm trying to tell the guy, no, hey man, we got to fix that. We got to fix that for you, because that's why I'm looking over my shoulder. It's December. There's not many people here, and it looks great. The atmosphere is great, but I've been hearing around town there's bad reviews about this place. And I'm trying to tell him, like, man, I'm your friend. I'm coming here to support you. But, dude, I'm trying to tell you honestly, you're missing a few pieces. If I could help you get the few pieces, I would help you get the few pieces, right? But to your point, I'm digressing a little bit. Restaurant.
I get what you mean. Yeah, the analogy makes sense. Yeah,
you're going. You got to have the right mixture.
Right.
If you have the right ingredients, you're going to have a winning situation.
Right.
And every owner should have that mindset, but they don't, unfortunately. Or it's, I think the Rockies are owned by some media company in Atlanta, right? Do they have the mindset, or is that a tax deduction for them?
That's exact. A lot of people, it's numbers on a spreadsheet. For some people, it's an investment. It's a part of a portfolio, and I don't think that's how it should be. I think there should be some sort of vetting process when you're choosing owners for a professional sports team that makes some sort of guarantee that they're going to try and do what they can to make that a winning organization.
But then you have to have a commissioner. You have to have a leader
who enforces
sits there and goes, this is this game that we love, or are we catering to the drop off of fans, or why we're losing this crowd, or we're trying to keep this crowd entertained, and there's too much. It's like there's things that are great, and you don't, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I want to go into things that like parallel. It drives me crazy. The rules that they try to make, like the golden batter, dude. That's Savannah Banana baseball. What are we doing?
I hate that. It's too far.
So come on, it's too much. It's like now you're changing what we've done, and then it go the integrity of the numbers. You're going to award a player the MVP or the batting title. What if he gets more at bat?
I don't think that's a rule that's ever going to happen, and it shouldn't. I think it's stupid.
No, it's like, but go back to, come on, Rob, do the right thing. If these things that are important to fans, to say, I want my team to have a shot. If it's not the World Series, at least give me a chance to win in my division, and make the standard like, okay, I'll take the NL Central, right? Not too many big market teams, other than the Reds do have money. We'll see if they ever spend again big like that, or the Cubs. Right? Those are the two big, money
big spenders.
Deeper pocket,
yeah.
But win that division. What has to happen there, right? There's just. But overall, man, is the Central going to compete with the NL or AL East? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, well, both Central organizations.
The West, the NL West. I mean, look, the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants.
Yeah.
You know, those are organizations that you're sitting there going like, how am I ever going to compete if I don't have an owner or a GM that can convince the owner to say we're going to be competitive even in this situation.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing to go. How are we crossing this tic-tac-toe board and dissecting this? Because that's what I think is turning fans away with it. If you have teams that have no shot at all.
Yep. I agree 100%.
That's more of a problem than it is anything else, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've been getting some questions over the last few weeks from our listeners, and a lot of them are centered around that sort of topic. So we can jump into that in a future episode. But I did want to tackle one fun question that we had while we're on the topic of massive contracts. I think this is a fun way to close out this episode. But one of our listeners asked through our Instagram. They asked with the Juan Soto money and seeing what that contract looks like. If Barry Bonds, this is specifically directed at you because you played with him in that era. Mm-hmm. If peak prime Barry Bonds, forgetting about if you're steroids aside, if prime Barry Bonds hit the open market today at Juan Soto's age or around there, what would that contract look like? Because Juan Soto is a great hitter, but Barry Bonds is a better hitter.
Yeah,
I think that's undeniable.
Well, then you go just as good, if not better. Right? He's the king of home runs, whether you agree with it or not. He owns that title.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that are in the Hall of Fame that have done those things, and people bring up that. I would venture to say, if we're really in today's market, then Barry would be adding another B to his bank account. Yeah. That's another killer B.
I am in the same ballpark. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm glad you went there because I didn't want to seem like a crazy person. But yeah, I think he'd be the first. It will eventually, but yeah, I think Barry would be the first $1 billion player. Yeah, that's crazy.
100%, it is crazy. But see, that's what I said. We're looking at this, and I never get mad at these guys going like, "Wow, I can't believe when I played, we didn't have a chance." But when I was playing, I think $40 million, $10 million a year was like, oh my god, right?
Right.
That's
nothing.
That's nothing. That's what
the qualifying offer is like $21 million.
They're paying 10. Most people are paying 10 in taxes.
Right.
They're buying missiles for our countries. Thank you, everybody. Our defense of the United States of America, America's pastime. Thank you. Is helping protect the United States of America.
There we
go.
That's great. Well,
Go
I want
to end it with this.
Yeah, please.
Roberto Clemente, man, there's a lot going on with him. They're making a coin for him, I believe, in 2027. The greatest humanitarian that we know. I mean, even if you're not a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, know about anything about his career, you do have heard about Clemente.
Yeah.
But they're commemorating, embodying that in several ways, in upcoming ways, which is fantastic. But I do believe that we have days, and this day, the grilled cheese day, they got Flag Day, they got your kiss your dog day. There's all these holidays, right? Why not opening day? It's America's pastime.
I know.
Why do we not have that be a day off? I still, because it's coming up, maybe we got to write to our congressmen and women and just say, hey, can we please, America, it's our game.
I'm on board.
Can we get an off day? The kids should be going with their dad. Mom and dad bring the kids. Mm-hmm. Should be that's it. That's all I got. Merry Christmas, bro.
You too. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. That's right.
Loaded Mound Visit. Get on there. If you haven't left me a Amazon review, guy, come on.
Hey.
That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for Or it's Juan Soto's pocket change. You know?
That's right. Guys, if you like this episode, subscribe on YouTube. If you like to watch, you can do that for free. Helps us out a ton. If you just want to listen, you can listen wherever you get your podcast, and pick yourself up a copy of Unlocking the Power of NIL. You can get it on Amazon today, so be sure to check that out. Awesome stuff, and awesome stuff to come. We're excited to be back from our little break, and we will be sure to bring you more. From Mound Visit, Casey, Jason, we're out.
Bring your teeth. Put them on your tree. Put them on your tree, guy.